Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is ChimereNicole. Welcome. So one of the questions that I get quite often is, how did you become so confident? And it's funny because when I think about it, I laugh. I'm like, when did I become confident? And it's like I really can't like pinpoint what it was that made me confident. It's one of those things where it kind of just accumulated over time. But I'm going to talk about a few things that have helped me to become more confident and what I can share with you so that you can start your journey on becoming a confident woman as well. So confidence for me is, it's like an undeniable proof that you are who you say that you are. And when you have that proof, it's kind of like a badge of honor. And so for me, I know who I am. And because I know who I am, and I know the work that I had to put in to become the woman that I am, that makes me so much more confident. Because again, I didn't wake up like this, okay? This did not happen overnight. It was a lot of work that I put in to, again, learn who I was, learn what my passions were, learn what it was that drove me, and the things that I wanted to pursue. And so once I kind of uncovered all of those things and started to work at those things, it just made me become confident, and over time I have become the woman that you see today. So how do you get that undeniable proof? Well, tip number one would be to make sure that you constantly show up for yourself. And this is one of the things that I have worked on. And if you watch any of my other channels, I do have other channels here on YouTube that are like my personal channels. If you watch any of those channels, you see that I am a big stickler on being consistent. For me, consistency is the key to success. I focused on that first, and that was basically me showing up for myself with really small tasks. One of the things I like to do is I like to do like transformation challenges, and that might be me making sure that I journal every day for 30 days, or even with my health and my fitness, making sure that I was constantly showing up for myself in the way that not only challenged me but made me better. And once I completed some of these small challenges and transformations that I wanted to embark on, it made me confident, because not only did I show myself that I had the willpower to complete it, but I also had the willpower to create a goal, stick to a goal, and to accomplish the goal. And every single time that I was able to do that, it helped me become more confident. And it's basically, again, undeniable proof that I am who I said that I am, and that I have the power to achieve anything that I set out to do. So for me, being consistent was the key to my success. Being consistent in the small things eventually led me to be consistent in the bigger things, and that is how I have been able to accomplish some really great things in my life. Another tip that I've learned on my confidence building journey is to really distinguish the difference between arrogance, cockiness, and confidence. And I know that might sound a little bit strange, but again, I'm a little bit older. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm in my 30s. And I've realized that a lot of the people who I thought presented themselves as confident, they were actually a little bit cocky. And I believe that the loudest person in the room is typically the weakest. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. I believe that when you are truly confident, you do not have to convince other people that you're confident, okay? Confidence is one of those things that exudes from your inner being, from your inner person. And if you have to walk into a room and basically tell the room that you have arrived, you're not that girl. You're not that girl, okay? You should be able to walk into a room, and your presence alone will signal to the people in the room that you are there. And again, as I said before, if you have to tell people that you're confident, you're not confident, you're cocky. I don't have to convince anyone that I am who I say that I am. My aura, my personality, my presence alone will do all of the talking. I don't have to open my mouth. And so that is when I realized that true confidence is self-asserting. So basically, my tip for confidence is learning to be secure in who it is that you are. Even if you don't feel like you really know who that is at that point, that's okay. Even you not being sure of who you are is better than trying to go into spaces and feel like you have to assert yourself in a domineering way. It just doesn't come off confident at all. It comes across more arrogant and more cocky than it does confidence. Confidence is actually very, very quiet. Arrogance is loud. Another tip that I think has been really impactful for me on my journey has been to really focus in on your strengths and highlight those while you're working on building upon your weaknesses. Now again, a confident woman does not mean that she is perfect. It is not a measure of perfection. I am definitely not perfect, but I have learned over the years to highlight my strengths. One of my strengths is that I am very affirming. I know how to speak life into people, and I know how to make people feel good in my presence because I have a way of highlighting their strengths and not emphasizing their weaknesses. And that is my personal strength. I just feel like that's one of the things as a hairdresser I'm able to do. I can take something and make it and magnify that. So for me, I've learned to really build upon that skill that I have naturally. One of my weaknesses is, especially for me, has always been like public speaking. I know that sounds really, really crazy with me being on social media and having a YouTube channel. But when speaking to my camera in a room with nobody else in here is different than speaking on the stage where there's thousands of people staring at you and you're under bright lights. So public speaking, not necessarily my strong suit. However, that's something that I'm learning to build on, and doing things like this, making small goals of showing up on social media and speaking and becoming more confident in my speaking has helped me with one of the things that I feel is a weakness. So I would definitely say to learn to highlight your strengths, but always work on building on your weaknesses. And the more you start to build upon that thing that you feel like may not be your strong suit, the more you work on that, that builds your confidence. So for me, as I said, coming on my YouTube channel and speaking consistently, working on, let's say, my pacing, working on inflection in my voice, learning how to have eye contact, learning to slow down, which for me is very, very hard to do because I have a lot to say and I want to get it out. But sometimes it comes across really, really fast and I get so excited. But learning to slow down and to pace myself is something that I have to constantly learn how to do. And so, as I said, I'm not perfect, but the more that I work on those things, the more confident I become. And the more confident I become, the more that starts to show through, and it is portrayed when I walk into rooms. Also, along those lines of highlighting your weaknesses, when you know who you are as a person, people can't use that against you. And as I said, I'll speak for myself. I am one of those people that when I get excited, I start to speak fast, like I just said. And I noticed that maybe not so much now, but I can think of a few times where people try to kind of use that against me. And as I'm speaking now, I can think of a person in my head primarily who used to do it all the time. She would say, "Why are you speaking so fast?" Or "Why are you talking like that?" And it used to, I didn't realize at the time that it affected me until I started to work on it. Because as now, like I said, as I'm thinking about it, I can picture this person saying certain things to me. And although I don't think it like hurt my feelings or anything like that, the fact that I can still like think about it now tells me that it impacted me more than I thought it did at the time. So with that, learning to embrace who you are and understanding who you are and what your weaknesses are, people cannot use that against you. And when you really start to embrace that, it makes you confident, because no one can tell me about me or tell me something about me that I don't already know about myself. And so People sometimes have a tendency of using your weaknesses against you, and that chips away at your self-confidence, and it chips away at your self-esteem. But when you know who you are, and when you know what your shortcomings are, people can't use that against you. And when they can't use that against you, it really helps you to be confident in who you are, especially when you are on a journey of transformation and you are trying to build upon the person that you are and the person that you want to become. No one can use your weaknesses against you. So for me, that is definitely a key to building your self-confidence. And my last tip that I want to share with you guys, and again, this is a tip that I have personally utilized and I still utilize it, is I am a very self-affirming person. Affirmations for me are pivotal for me to build my confidence. Now, I wouldn't say that I lacked self-esteem. I would probably say I didn't really, if I think about that, when I think of like self-esteem, I wouldn't say that I had low self-esteem. I would say I didn't really have self-esteem, if that makes any sense. It wasn't like I viewed myself in a negative way. I would say I just didn't think about my true potential. I didn't tap into who I was and who I could become until very late in life. I would probably say late teens, early 20s was when I really started to embrace what confidence was, what self-esteem was, and realizing that some people had low self-esteem, some people had high self-esteem. I was just kind of floating in the middle, just living life and living in my own little fairy tale world. But when I realized that I was able to build myself up to the person that I wanted to become, I realized that I was kind of floating in the middle, and I wanted to build my self-esteem, and I wanted to be more confident, I wanted to be more bold, and I wanted to be more ambitious. So in order for me to do that, I had to kind of find my self-esteem that was kind of floating around, and when I found her, I was able to kind of grab it and then start to build on it. So I would say the key to that for me was being self-affirming, and the way that I started to do that was sticky notes. Now I know that's very interesting, but I just have a thing for sticky notes. They're colorful, they're little, I like to write, and I'm able to stick them everywhere that I want to stick them. So again, one of my keys to success has been creating sticky notes and placing them all over my office. As I am recording this, I have a mirror right behind me that's got attached to a closet that I have in my office, and I have sticky notes all over the closet. They have goals that when I first started this, I had a goal of accomplishing being Mrs. New Jersey 2020. I did accomplish that, and I still have those sticky notes on that wall, all that window, and it says Mrs. New Jersey America 2020, and I would write that out. I would have my name on there. I would write it out like, you are able to accomplish this goal, you are able to become the queen that you want to be, you are able to impact other women. All of these things I currently have on sticky notes right here. I'm staring at them as we speak. I have these things written down, and so I was able to speak this to myself on a consistent basis. I have friends that I know, I've gone into their homes and I've seen sticky notes in their bathroom. It is really that powerful. What you speak is who you become. And again, I am a witness to this, okay? The more you speak positivity over yourself, the more positive you become as a person. The more negativity you speak, even in a joking manner, that is who you become, because your brain cannot differentiate something negative or something positive. You're speaking your own reality. And so I have a girlfriend, I'm not gonna say her name, and I'm going to share this because I actually had a conversation with her. We were talking about something that had nothing to do with anything, but she said something in a joking manner, and I had to stop her, and I said, you know, I know that you're joking, but that bothers me. And she was like, what? You know, we're laughing. We're literally in a mid-conversation. We're laughing and ha-ha-kikiing. But she said it, and she said it more than once. And I told her, I said, I know we're joking, but when you say that, it bothers me. She was like, what? I said, when you say things like, you know, I'm not able to speak properly. She wasn't born in this country, but she was talking about her accent. And she said, you know, yeah, you know, because I can't speak no English, and you girl, you know, and she said it like a few times within the conversation. And again, whether she was saying it in a joking manner, your brain isn't able to differentiate that. So the more you say that you can't do something, the more your brain is going to tell you that you cannot do something. So I had to stop her and say, you know, again, I know you're joking, But please don't say that, because it bothers me, because you know you're speaking negativity over yourself. And not only are you speaking it to yourself, you're speaking it and I have to hear it. So even though you're saying it to me, my brain can also trigger, oh, you know, she don't know how to speak no English. And it's just off of a joke that she said, but because she said it more than once, because I've heard it, I'm going to internalize that. So now when she says something and she may say in an accent, or she may not use the proper verbiage, my brain is going to be triggered. Oh, well, you know, she don't know how to speak no English, just because she said that. So I am a firm believer in speaking positivity to yourself. I'm telling you, the more you speak positivity to yourself, the more you read it, the more you see it, the more you speak it, you become what you say. So affirmations for me are a positive tool to becoming a confident woman. So that is it, guys. Those are some of my tips on how you can become confident, how you can build your confidence, and tips and tools that I have utilized on my confidence journey to become the woman that I wanted to become. So if this video was helpful for you guys, please make sure to thumbs up and like, as well as to subscribe to my channel, because you know we're doing some things over here on this channel, and I would love for you to join me on your transformational journey. So, and again, as always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys in the next video.